Joe Benigno joining us right now here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Joseph?
Well, first of all, Vince Gilligan. Who's going on after me? Katy Perry? I mean, you know.
Well, I think
next?
I think College Game Day got her this week, Joe.
Yeah, well, I mean, geez. I mean, I couldn't believe I'm watching the Ole Miss game and it's Katy Perry. But nevertheless, you know what? How are you, Rich? I'm standing here looking at Radio City Music Hall. It's a beautiful day in New York. The sun is shining. It's about 70 degrees. The girl watching is good outside here and all that.
All right.
Well, what a disgrace yesterday. And I want to start with can I start with this guy?
Which guy?
I want to start with the general manager of the New York Jets.
John Idzik.
John Idzik. What a disaster. You know, everybody is to blame for yesterday. Coach looks like he lost the team. The quarterback, hey, I want a guy quarterback in my team that doesn't realize there's a 3-hour time difference between New York and California. I want that guy coaching my team, running my team at quarterback. You know, we could go for the defense, whatever you want, the 90-yard drives, the Chris Johnson. We go on and on. I'm going to start with John Idzik, bro, if you don't mind.
Please.
Because he has given this football team nothing in 2 years. In 2 years, he's got one draft choice he stumbled into in Sheldon Richardson. Gino looks like he's terrible. D. Milner, terrible. They got nothing out of this year's draft class. Calvin Pryor stinks. Amaro stinks. The one guy, Sanders, has already gone to Arizona. One guy's facing a domestic violence issue. I mean, are you kidding me? He's got $21 million under the cap. They can bring in one receiver, Eric Decker, can't stay on the field. Brings in no cornerbacks. Dimitri Patterson, he can't show up for games. Oh, you got to be kidding me! And this guy is going to survive Rex getting fired. I got confidence that this guy's going to be the guy to hire my next head coach of my football team. Oh my God!
Well, I don't know who that guy would be even. I mean, because the one thing that Rex does well, I can't imagine whoever they bring in could do as well as Rex. I mean, you know, I mean, at least you know a certain side of the football is going to be taken care of, and the reason why that side of the football isn't as good this year is because Rex has been undermanned. I mean, he's the type of guy that his 8th cornerback is only good because there's a 9th. Because he just can't, that's all he wants to do is collect corners. And because that allows him to do what he wants to do in his blitz scheme. Because he leaves his corners on an island. And he needs the right guys to do that in order for him to run the defense that he wants. I can't imagine whoever they would bring in, even if it does go as south as we expect it to, Joe, because their next games are against Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and the Kansas City Chiefs. If you think about it.
Look, I like Rex. I think Rex is a good coach. Yesterday is the kind of game that gets coaches fired. I mean, they look like they quit on him yesterday. And you can talk all you want about the defense. 3 90-yard-plus drives, Rich, 3 of them. I understand the quarterbacks stink. I understand every one of them is terrible. Walls, Kyle Wilson, you know, Antonio Allen, who's really a safety, shouldn't be playing corner anyway. He's covering single coverage on Antonio Gates. He's only going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, we could cut him down the line with all of that. But, I mean, come on, 3 90-yard drives. There was one play where Mo Wilkerson had Rivers wrapped up, lets him get away, and he throws a swing pass to this Brandon Oliver, who we never heard of till yesterday, and he's running down the sidelines 50 yards. How about that great run defense? They gave up 162 yards yesterday against the worst running team in the league.
Well, Joe,
I mean, you got to be kidding.
Joe, is it?
A siren now.
I was about to say.
Take me away.
That's what I was about to say. I was wondering if, because you know Woody is very connected in that town. If he's sending the authorities to get you off the corner of 6th Avenue there, you know. So last question for you though, Joe. I mean, because they do have the Buffalo Bills as well coming up, and the Bills look like a much more stout team.
The Bills
than certainly the Jets do. I know.
The Patriots this week, it's a pick'em game. When's the last time Buffalo played New England in an even money game?
So would you go with Vic?
Vic should be starting, Rich. I mean, look, you can't go by what happened in the second half yesterday. I mean, come on, that game was over. It was 21-0 already. Vic got the ball one time, gave it up. You know, they punted and they came right down and made it 28-0. He never had a shot in that game. And here's the other thing. Gino misses the meeting. How is there not some kind of a penalty to pay for not showing up for this meeting? I don't want to hear you didn't know the time change. Come on.
Well,
Vic should be practicing with the first team all week,
right.
And he should be playing next week. I'm not saying he's the answer, and I'm not saying you're gonna win any games with Vic. but you at least got to let me see him, don't you? Don't you owe it to the Jet fans to at least let me see this guy play a full game?
Well, there might be a faction saying that what Jet fans are owed is to give Geno Smith the shot to potentially blossom into the franchise quarterback he may be.
Come on, Rich. This guy is not the franchise quarterback of the future. He's only the 29th guy in my lifetime that was supposed to be the franchise quarterback who's not going to be. I think I said this to you last week. Here's what's going to happen. Ryan's going to get fired. Then Geno's not going to be a guy. He'll be gone. He'll be drafted a new quarterback next year. They'll bring in a new coach who will last 3 years. He'll be gone. Idzik will be gone. And we'll be starting all over again, just like always, the same old garbage with this franchise. Same old garbage.
Do you need somebody to hug you on the street corner, Joe? Do you need a hug?
I don't need anybody to hug me on the street corner. I really don't. I really don't. I just one more time, thank God, as I say a million times, thank God I saw the only Super Bowl in their history. I was 16 years old. I'm 61 now. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding. And there's no end in sight, Rich. There's no end in sight.
Joe, I love you. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. We'll chat soon.
Anytime, Rich.
You
All
bet.
the love.
You bet. Same to you. That's Joe Benigno of WFAN.